just wanted to make a quick video, kind of decoding some SPY's action on Friday. Now, I didn't get a chance to trade, but I was watching it, and I want to talk a little bit about bear flags and bearish markets. So, starting at the daily chart, right? It's what we should always be starting at. This is where I get my trades from, although I use the 1 and the 5 minute to gauge it. Now, I do get some trades strictly from the 5 minute chart. Some of them just strictly on what it does at market open. And of course, the levels that I'm watching, the support and resistance, or if I'm looking to trade a moving average. So we see here that it goes into the 200, big old day. It's this long-term trend. This long-term trend, right? No jam. Well, now you have a sell-off, you have a little bounce, but really this is just a bear flag. See that? Just makes a nice little channel. But it's all about the angle. When looking at some of these charts, it's all about the angle. So we had some news come out pre-market. You know, my friend, he messaged me. He said, man, SPY's action is more funky. I kind of looked at it and I was like, oh, well, it's really just one big bear flag. Sometimes they'll do this either all day or the most part of the day, first half of the day, second half of the day. Now, it ain't always going to be perfect, but and I drew these lines, not marking the trends, just want people to notice the look of it, the angle of it. So, if you remember, when I did my video on Tesla, right? Yeah, when I did my video on Tesla, this video right here, I pointed it out, and it's kind of the same thing. It just looks a little different, but it still has the same look to it. Now, the action wasn't perfect, but if you remember, here, let me play it for you.
This action on Tesla is funky. It's kind of a bear flag. I know I'm gonna buy.
Look at that.
Okay.
Kind of a bear flag. Now, I was looking for longs this day. Look how strong Q's was. Dip at the open into support, which is, for the most part, is bullish. On a gap up, dips into the gap, holds. This is a bullish day. And Tesla is known for squeezes. And a lot of times, these things, if they break these highs right here, right up in here, especially if the market is squeezing to resistance, which this trade on Apple was a beautiful day that day. I wanted that, but I was too busy watching Tesla. But these things can squeeze real good, especially when a market is squeezing to resistance. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. But just wanted to point out this look right here. And you know, it will do this from time to time. So, going to the daily chart, it went right up to this 9 EMA, which right now the 9 EMA is right here. It's probably higher. This was probably actually the 9 during the market open. Rejects. You're protected by this 20 and the low of this day here. So there's all kind of protections up in here. So anyway, how do we trade this? We see it. We recognize it. Now it's kind of holding this 50 the whole time. It's kind of holding. You know, there's a little bit of a lower trend right there. You could scalp this thing up, but I wouldn't. I mean, it would just be just that. It would just be scalps. So there's a couple ways you can do this, because you have a lot of mixed signals in here, right? You got higher lows up in here. You got lower highs up in here. I mean, it's just all mixed up. So that's an indicator too. It's not a clean market, which to me lately I've been noticing the less clean it is, the the more prone it is to selling off. So anyway, I don't have a drawing tool, but you got some rounding right here. You can always just get in at a pop and maybe use the highs as a risk. But you really need something a little bit more concrete. Now this was beautiful. You can take the bottom of this trend, risk off of this right here, which would have been probably the more perfect trade. But soon as it just starts to change, you see how it just starts to change. You get this lower high, which rejects this high. Number one, and that means okay, it's probably a safe bet to go ahead and just get in, risk off of this high right here, right? What I would have done. You see this break? See how it finally breaks? To me, that's the signal. Now, I probably would. I'm fine with getting in right here and adding into a risk, which is how I trade anyway. I don't get in full size with my starters. I leave it for my risk. It's just how I trade. It's what I'm comfortable with. I'm not comfortable holding full size when I get in. I like knowing that where my protection is for support and resistance. Right? I like knowing where that protection is. You also have the 5-minute chart. Great resistance right here. You know, you got to start putting all these pieces of the puzzles together. You got a bear flag right here, mini bear flag, but if you know what you're looking at, you see it. But it's this break right here in that retest. I mean, 40 cents to highs, man. That ain't nothing. You know, it's Friday. You should be sizing down anyway. But yeah, this break right here would have got me laser focused on trying to get in on a short. So we got an entry, we have our risk. Now what do we trade to? Me, this level would have been a good target. At least peel maybe half or 3/4 of your position and try to hit VWAP. Some of this is kind of shaky at the end. You know, you really have to trust this flag right here to really sit there and play this right here. But anyway, it's always good to kind of go back and start decoding some of this action up in here. See, the 5-minute chart was pretty clean. So where do I think this market's going? Let's see. Let me use TradingView for an example. Now, make sure I'm back on this screen. Now, I did get into a trade the other day, but I was at work. I work at a plant, so that's why I'm able to do shift work. Sometimes I'm posting, sometimes I'm not. I'll show you my little trade I did this week. Got in on this 9 EMA on this day. I was going to hold it. I ended up getting a 15-day contract, but I got in. Almost dead nuts tapped this. I think I got in at around 305. Went to like 304 something, 305, 30, 50, somewhere up in here I got in. Put my phone in my pocket, walked around a little bit, and as soon as I was like, oh yeah, I need to check my position. I mean, this stock was like up here, up in here, and the day trader scalper in me went from swing trade mode to looking how big this move was. I don't really like big moves, believe it or not. Now, if I'm scalping day trading, yeah, but if I'm swing trading, big moves usually come back just as hard, or there's a good chance for a reversal. So I didn't catch exactly 7 points. I caught anywhere probably 5 to 6 points. But yeah, pretty cool. I guess I could have got back in, but I was on my phone and I'm busy at work, so couldn't do that. But anyway, where do I think this market is going? Now, if you have been paying attention to my videos, we hit that 200 MA. Q's tested 50, SPY pullback. All these videos, I give my reasons, what I'm seeing on the daily chart, and they actually have happened so far. So, I really think this level is pretty much a given. Probably even this area. If it goes to lows, man, it's good. It really depends in January what the Feds do. Next Fed meeting. Fed meeting looking ugly. We might just test these lows again. But I'm not too sure. Anyway, those are my thoughts.